Hello, everyone. My name is Szymon Ćwieka. Welcome to the Log Analytics SIEM webinar. I hope you have all a wonderful day, wonderful evening. And I'm happy that you managed to find time to join me today. I will be presenting to you today the Log Analytics SIEM solution. And let's go right to it. Let me share my screen and present everything that we need to see. Okay. All right. So just a brief introduction to Log Analytics SIEM solution. Maybe kind of a reminder what SIEM is and what it's supposed to do. So SIEM is an abbreviation from Security Information and Event Management. It's a kind of solution that collects all the information from your environment, gathers it in the single point of SIEM system, and then correlates the data, analyze it, visualize it, so you will have a full picture of your environment and the troubles that have been detected, vulnerabilities, for example, or outdated systems or attacks, and so on. So SIEM focuses on collecting all the information that possibly be collected from your environment. So all the applications, information and logs, all the operating system data, all the surrounding solutions, like for example antivirus and vulnerability scanners and IDS and whatnot. So all of those systems are sending their data to Log Analytics, to the SIEM solution. And what SIEM does, it's correlate those data, creating chains of events. So for example, if there is a detection of an attack, then the SIEM solution can show you where it began, what is the source of this attack, and what happened next after the attack has been detected. So if there is are there any breaches or any data leakage or whatnot. So that is the general idea of a SIEM, to be able to show you, to analyze the data, and obviously to also alert about the security troubles and issues that has been detected. So let's start briefly at looking at all the security events, because right now, as you can see, this is the Log Analytics SIEM module. Let's look at the security events inside the SIEM that we can detect. So energy, Log Analytics has the energy of all the open source solutions on the market. So if you are familiar with, for example, open source solution like Kibana, then you will see some similarities with the product. That is because Log Analytics is based on many stages on the open source solutions. So don't be surprised if you find something similar, and if you already have the knowledge about the open source solutions here, then you can use it to even increase the value from the Log Analytics. So right now we are looking at the last 15 minutes. Let's switch it to last 24 hours, and we are looking at all the incidents that has been detected over that time. We can see that is a lot of incidents, and all of those incidents are divided into different levels. The level is indicator of how important that detection is. So Log Analytics SIEM doesn't inform that it checked something and it's everything all right. It is informing you when something went wrong. So if there is a kind of an incident to be monitored, to be reported, then Log Analytics is used to send that information already, not just informing you that it checked and there is nothing to report. So all the information here, all the incidents are basically something that you should be familiar with, something you should be looking at, or in my case, I should be looking at, because this is my environment that I'm showing. You can see that the amount of data, amount of incidents that has been detected, and obviously also divided by the groups. So we can see that majority of those incidents are from the IDS and Suricata group. So Suricata is already an example of interesting integration and combination with Log Analytics SIEM solution. Then we have all the information divided on different aspects and information about the agents connected and not. And you can see at the bottom all the individual alerts and or maybe kind of a statistical view over the detections that has been recognized. We have information about the IDs of the rules and how many of those rules has been detected over the 24 hours. So, for example, it's as easy to use as you can imagine. So there is a search bar, and if you're looking for something specific, like I was looking in the past for an attack, for example, then I can use that query and see if there are any information detected from the query that I've searched. So in case of an attack, I already see different agents has been reporting attacks from the last 24 hours, and we can see the levels of the incidents that has been reported. So from there are some of 3 levels, so low level, but there is also a 10 level, so it's rather important. The maximum level, I believe, is like 16 or something like that. And obviously at the very bottom you have the information about the attacks that has been detected. You always can go with the interaction with the solution. So for example, if the SQL injection is important to me, then I can use the filter to create the narrow down the results to only this result. And see all information. And obviously at any point we will be using that from time to time. At any point of the analysis, you can always change the view from the general one, the dashboards one, to the deep down view for each document, each detection, and you can open this document to see all the details and all the information about what this is about. So at every stage, at every visualization, or at every analysis, you have this option in SIEM module to view the raw data. So let's go with the planned agenda for today. So this is the brief introduction, and let's look at for example, the compliances. I believe is the first point in our agenda. Let's look how Log Analytics can help you be compliant with different regulations that has been expected of. So for example, we have a GDPR compliance, and this is something that comes out of the box with the Log Analytics. So it doesn't have to be some kind of very custom integration or custom deployment. That is something that you just activate, and Log Analytics agents and SIEM functionality just right out of the box, trying to monitor and inform you about any points that might be interesting for you. So in this case, we have again, last 24 hours, we have information about the points that has been detected, and from the GDPR regulation, that obviously still regards an attack. If we would remove that attack query, we would look at the general information, and we can see that there are much more data and much more different points applying to that regulations. And you have obviously different types of presenting the data, depends on what you are looking for, what is interesting for you. But at the very bottom of this, you have information about specific points of this detection, or rather recognition, because obviously the compliances is not about always alerting and whatnot. It's more about auditing and keeping track of when someone is logging in, what they are doing exactly, if it's supposed to happen or not, and so on. The other compliance is, for example, PCI DSS. So if there is any financial transaction or any financial related data in your in your environment, then it is a good practice to have to be compliant with PCI DSS. And this works very similar as the GDPR. We have information about specific points at any stage. We might get interacted with the dashboard. So if something is interesting for me, then I might filter down to narrow it to look only at that specific points. And obviously, I also can look at the summary where I can see all the information and to which requirement point they are assigned. So all the events and whatnot. And we have all the full compliances with the HIPAA and NIST, NIST compliances. So you can dynamically switch from one to another to analyze and to look at the data that are interesting for you. And again, all I am presenting today is something that right after deployment can be activated without any very special and unique customization, something that would be very difficult to achieve, that are out of the box information and monitoring and incidents that can be just activated and are available with the log analytics. So now, for example, we can look at the policy monitoring, something that for me is much more interesting than compliances, because like I mentioned, compliances is somewhat about auditing and keeping track of the information, but policy monitoring is a field where you have a very specific information. So for a technical person like me, those informations are very, very important. So I have information, for example, about the hardening, SSH hardening. So I can see on which system root can log in directly, and with all the best practices, it is never recommended to allow direct root login into the system. Well, from obvious reasons. Same goes for example, empty passwords. That is something that shouldn't be allowed, and the CM solution detected that on specific hosts, so we can filter down and recognize on which host that has been detected. Same goes on the same level. We can apply the SIS monitoring, SIS benchmark, so we can see what has been detected. And the SIS is really important because SIS give you information how not only what has been detected, but how it has been detected, why is it important to fix, how you can check it by yourself, and how to fix it. So those are really just very important notes and detections that you can apply to your environment. And you can already see that this is an example of our next point, the vulnerabilities. So right now the policy monitoring is already detected the outdated WordPress installation, which is obviously a vulnerability in itself. But log analytics has dedicated view for vulnerabilities, where we can look at specific detections that has taken place. So you can see already that scans are repeatedly happening, and you can track down if the specific vulnerability has been fixed, or is it appearing each time, or is it appearing, it's supposed to be fixed and it's reappearing again. So that is something that you can actually really easily detect with the log analytics. You obviously have any information about the specific CVE or CWEs if you need to recognize specific or looking for specific vulnerability if it has been detected. Like for example, lately there was a lot of noise regarding Log4j vulnerability, so you can use the vulnerability detector here with Log Analytics SIEM to find out if the Log4j has been a threat to you. And obviously, again, you can always switch to the document view, where you can look at specific points of the documents and look all the details about anything that might be interesting regarding specific vulnerability, in this case vulnerability, but again, at any point, at any stage of analysis or looking through the data, you have the option to do exactly that. Then we have file integrity monitoring, which is also very, very, very important, because it is very useful to have that activated while we are connected, for example, gathering data from specific antivirus, because antivirus provides us with the information about specific, for example, hashes or indicators for the file to be malicious one. And during this analysis, you can always look at the not only about on the action that has been taking place, if it's the file has been added or if file has been modified. You have an option to look at the specific hashes before and after modification, or before or after file modification. So we might even look at this if we look at specific document. Okay, so in this case there is information about specific modification, but if we toggle that into a dynamic table, then we might find, here it is, for example, we might find information about a specific file and what was the size before and after the change, and also about information about the checksums or the hashes of the file. So you can easily combine it with the information from your antivirus solution, and to check if it's a indicator of a malicious file or an attack or whatever is threatening. This is really important and easy to use. Obviously, you just specify what kind of files you are looking at on the agent level, and you have an option to look at them and monitor them, any actions. And to give you an example, or give you a view over those, because anyone can say that something is easy to do with the system, but let me give you an example in the log analytics system. That would be somewhat higher technical step, but not very complicated. That's why I'm showing this to you, just not to bore you, obviously, because technical aspects can be very, very, very boring. But this one is somewhat okay, acceptable level of presenting technical aspects. So in this case, we will look at the few of the rule set and how they are created in the log analytics SIEM solution, and how many of them are actually. So we already see that there are over 3,100 indicators, or rather, let's say, detections. From part of them are something that are used to correlate. So you can see, for example, here that there are level 0, meaning that they are not used to present any specific detection. They are used to correlate the data, so to keep track of a specific scenario. But let's look at the specific files. For example, let's look at maybe postfix, and I will show you this just to give you an example without any going too much into details. But I want to show you how easy it is to create a custom, if you need a custom detections and scenarios and integrations. So for example, here we have a postfix where there is a specific ID, like you saw at the beginning. In this case, it's a 3300 ID, and the level is 0. So whenever it's detected, you will not see the result because it's a low level, and the level of presenting data is level 3. So any incident that is level 3 or above will be presented as a potential threat. Below level 3, we call them integrations. I call them correlation rules. So it's something to keep track. But anyway, each rule has a unique ID, and you can see already that, for example, here we have a example of a scenario. So this rule is activated, the rule of 3301 with level 6. So whenever this will be detected, it will be presented because it's level 6. This rule is checked whenever 3300 is also detected. So you can see simple scenario step where step by step something is checked. So at the very top, usually you have a general detection of a specific kind of data, and then step by step are specific aspects checked, and specific information correlated. So you can see that different IDs are based on previous detection. You can also look, I believe it's somewhere here, yes, so you can see the combination. So if this or this has been detected, then you can follow up with a specific query, specific recognition, and create more complicated detections. Not to go too deep into this technical level, I just wanted to show you that there is, for example, there was a Meteor recognition, so you can classify the detections on the Meteor matrix, and obviously you can, if there is a need that you need to create, or a partner, or whoever needs to create a specific detection rule, then it's very easy to do that with Log Analytics SIEM solution. That is, from the very general perspective, just a brief introduction about the potential that Log Analytics SIEM solution can bring to your environment. If you're interested about more information, please let me know. Right now, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to use the questions let's say category, and feel free to ask any questions right now, and I will be happy to answer if any will appear. In the meantime, I also will give you a brief look at the agent management in the SIEM solution. So obviously, from the look of it, we can already see that there are, maybe not a lot of agents, but some of agents, like 32 agents with 15 are active. We don't have to manage them individually. Obviously we can, but we don't have to. We can manage them from the very top level of the Log Analytics SIEM management. We can categorize those agents into different groups where they will use a different configurations, so they will be able to recognize specific data, something that will help you to recognize and configure that remotely. Okay, I don't think there are any questions at the moment. At least I don't see any, but I can. Oh, there is one. Can Log Analytics use existing security solutions in the environment? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So I can even show you an example of that. I've mentioned that you might want to use specific security solutions to integrate them with the Log Analytics, and I can show you the example of integration with the different, for example, vulnerability scanner, dedicated vulnerability scanner, like for example, Tenable. So usually it's rather difficult to integrate with such solution. In this case, Tenable. But with the log analytics is it's a predefined integration. So you just provide a simple instructions about the users and where the Tenable is located, vulnerability scanner, and you can download all the information about the scans from the vulnerability scanner into the log analytics. So you can see that just a minimal infrastructure that we have here, and the six host has been scanned, and we already have some kind of information, critical, high, and you always can go and interact with the data where filters will be created, and everything will apply those changes. So you can look at all the different visualization, all the list of the problems detected, the recommended solutions for the problems, and look at the plugins family or the CVE numbers and whatnot. So that is completely possible to integrate all the solutions. In fact, that is something that we encourage you to do, if it's even possible, to integrate with the solution all the other security aspects of your environment. If it's possible, then it's strongly recommended to do so, because then log analytics have more power to visualize the data and to present more complete view over your infrastructure and all the potential detection threat and whatnot. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. Well, if there are any other questions that will be, as a form of a follow-up after this webinar, feel free to contact me through email or to contact the ITRS about the questions. Log Analytics, we are more than happy to, prove the value of our solution. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out, and we are more than happy to give a trial by fire to log analytics SIEM solutions. I'm very confident that it will manage. So that's it for today, all that I have for you. And I again thank you for joining and for listening. And I wish you a very good rest of the day or the night, depends when you are. So see you again and hear you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.